Steven here from History Hustle, and I'm standing in Budapest, Hungary, in front of the Soviet memorial for the fallen soldiers of the Soviet Red Army that fell during the liberation of Budapest. But liberation came at a costly price for the Hungarians. After a ferocious battle known as the Battle of Budapest, where the Soviets fought against the Nazis and aircraft militiamen, the city succumbed into chaos. After the Soviets proclaimed victory, they started looting Hungarian residents and also raping many Hungarian women and girls. What followed were mass deportations. Hundreds and thousands of Hungarians were put into trains and deported to the Russian Far East, where they had to work under horrific circumstances in the Gulag labor camps. According to Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, the Hungarians needed to be punished for their alliance with Nazi Germany. So we had the Kingdom of Hungary. This was replaced by the Second Hungarian Republic, which, under strong communist pressure, was replaced by the People's Republic of Hungary in 1949, led by the hardline communist Matthias Rákosi. Under his command, thousands of Hungarians were tortured and executed. To this came an end, because in 1953, Joseph Stalin died. Therefore, Matthias Rákosi was put out of his position, and he was succeeded by a more moderate communist named Imre Nagy. And he had different plans for Hungarians' future. Imre Nagy applied reform policies. Dissidents were now released from prison, and also a system was introduced where non-communist political parties could have an influence. Moscow was strongly opposing this, and they put Imre Nagy out of his position and replaced him with the hardline communist Eno Gero. Now, a lot of Hungarian Communist Party members, as well as the Hungarian people, preferred Nagy. On the 23rd of October 1956, there was a demonstration against the communist rule and also the Russian military presence in Hungary. And what started as a peaceful demonstration ended up in a major revolution. The protesters got themselves weapons and starting to fire at the Russians, driving them away from Budapest. Imre Nagy had now a choice to make: either align himself with the hardline communists and condemn these actions, or do so with the democratic protesters, and he chose the latter one. A new system was introduced where previously banned political parties were now reinstated. You can clearly see these were democratic reform policies. Also, Imre Nagy broke with the Warsaw Pact. The Warsaw Pact was a military alliance between communist nations, and he declared Hungary neutral. Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev feared that this would lead to the fall of the entire communist bloc, so therefore he sent Soviet troops to restore order in Hungary, and so they did. However, the Hungarian protesters did not capitulate without a fight. Budapest transformed into a battlefield once again, with Russian losses in the hundreds and Hungarian losses in the thousands. Now, Imre Nagy hoped that Western countries would intervene, but they did not, because Western countries thought that an intervention would lead to an armed conflict between East and West, a third world war perhaps. So therefore, the rebellion was crushed, and the Soviets restored communist order. Imre Nagy was arrested, trialed, and in 1958 executed. Anti-communist sentiments in Hungary remained. Hungary was the first country that cut through the Iron Curtain in 1989. The same year that the Berlin Wall would fall, and this would eventually lead to the fall of the entire communist bloc. In that same year, Imre Nagy got rehabilitated.